When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
In the furor to brand Donald Trump as a malcontent, a hater of anyone that isn't white, a man seeking nothing more than have his face plastered on every TV screen as he dominates the conversation, we may have hit a slight pause in the piling on process, forcing us to consider, has the Donald accidentally or on purpose lit the fire on a national issue that no one, least of all politicians running for office, want to touch for fear of seeing their careers and fortunes glow with a radioactive hot zone of defeat? The political animal takes it all in. Let's welcome back the former head of FEMA, who now echoes across the Rocky Mountains from his chair at 630 KHOW in Denver, Colorado, Michael Brown, joined by the senior political contributor at Forbes, co-host of The Daily Wrap, here on Newsmax weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, who failed his last time to transform Michael Brown into a liberal. Rick Ungar joins us. Gentlemen, always a pleasure to have you on the show.
You remembered.
Absolutely. We never forget. Mine like a steel trap here sometimes. Mike, I'll start with you. The San Francisco killing by the illegal immigrant of the young lady has started this debate anew here. Did Trump hit on a very touchy spot that most people just want to stay away from, illegals killing citizens?
I hate to defend Donald Trump, but I think that he did. And the lady in San Francisco is, is not the first one. 2 weeks ago, we had a very popular, iconic sports broadcaster in Oklahoma City who was killed by an illegal alien, no driver's license, no insurance, high on cocaine, who made a wrong turn and killed this iconic sportscaster in Oklahoma City, Bob Berry Jr. And if you look at the stats, in fact, I'm talking about this today, we have thousands of these criminals. I think, to somewhat defend Trump, I think he was just inartful in the way he said it. But the fact of the matter is, when you have a porous border, illegals come across that are going to be criminals and drug dealers and cartel members. That's just a fact of life.
Rick, I know it's tough for everybody to say that Donald Trump may have actually said something correct. And yes, I think Mike's got it right. He was not very articulate in how he said it. But the debate is now open, and there is some meat to this debate.
Well, this debate has long been open. I mean, come on. And look, what happened in San Francisco was absolutely horrible. But you know what? Had it happened without Donald Trump, we'd still be talking about it, and with good reason.
Do you think, wait a minute, Rick, do you think we'd really talk about it, though? Because as Mike mentioned, we've had these things happen before, and it hasn't become a national debate before.
Well, actually, it has. I mean, it's not the first time I've heard of an illegal alien. I think what makes this one a bit worse is some of the surrounding data, which, like, this jerk had been thrown out of the country 6 times and still got in. But here's what I got to point out. If you say something inartfully, as if that's what Trump did, okay, it happens. But you know what you do? You set the record straight. That's not what he's doing. He comes out yesterday with another statement backing up his initial statement. And making it even more amazing is the disclosure this morning that at the hotel Donald Trump is building in Washington, D.C., of all places, there are undocumented workers there. So, you know, if you're going to take this kind of a position, Mr. Trump, you sure as heck better make sure that you're not employing people who fit the definition. It's remarkable. It should come as a shock to nobody, but I don't know how we can even talk about the guy anymore in light of that.
All right, here comes another shock, perhaps. The president has announced that his $500 million plan to raise an army of Syrian rebels to fight the Islamic State is falling just a little bit short. Let's see. As of July 3rd, according to Ash Carter, training about 60 fighters. Rick, this is an unmitigated failure. We can't get it right. They don't want to be trained. They don't want to be fighters. We can't find the right people. It's a disaster, right?
Yeah, I got to say, you know, I've kind of moved off what you might expect from me when it comes to the ISIL situation. I am very hawkish on it. I don't think that we're doing enough. I don't think we're doing it the right way. I do, however, want to say one thing to you, though. You know, when the president makes a statement like he did yesterday that this is a generational battle and it's a battle of ideologies, he is saying it correctly and he is telling the truth. It's very easy to jump on that and say, you know what, that's all well and good, but let's just go kill all these jerks. And I'm all for that, by the way. I'm all for killing all the jerks, but don't think that that brings it to an end if you can't influence the next generation. So I'd hope that conservatives would go less on the, criticizing the president for saying something that's just simply true, but go ahead and get after him for the job that he's doing and not attacking them properly now.
Michael, about a minute 15 left here, and again to you on this. Ideology and sectarian divides are the things that we don't talk about. Sure, you can train all you want, but you're not going to get to the ideology all with bullets. But the sectarian divides in the Middle East, in those countries, are rampant. We can't just go in and expect Sunnis and Shiites and Kurds to all live together and all get tickets to Disney World together one day.
No, kumbaya is not going to solve this any more than kumbaya would have stopped Hitler. But the other failure that no one's talking about, and this just really irks me, is, yes, the Syrians, we can't train them, we're not training them, but we have had how many opportunities in my lifetime to help the Kurds stand on their own. And once again, this administration has turned their backs on the Kurds. And remember, Republicans have turned their backs on the Kurds too. And it just boils my gut to think that we have some people in the Middle East who are trying to do the right thing, stand up, protect their culture, protect their identity, and every time they ask for help, we turn our back on them. We're insane what we're doing over there.
There's a little more to it, I got to say, Michael. I take your point completely, and yes, the Kurds are the ones who are standing up. But it's not like we don't have some reason to have some mistrust of the Kurds. They're not necessarily the freedom fighters for the American way that we like to paint them to be. I do agree with you. We should support them.
I'm going to have to stop it there. And, Michael, I think we may have actually got a little bit of conservative into Rick Ungar today, which is just as frightening as the last time as well. Let's be honest. Michael Brown, Rick Ungar, thanks so much, gentlemen. Good talking to you again. We'll catch up with you again real soon. Stay with us. The fastest 60 minutes in news continues.